So, good day everyone. Welcome to our video presentation on the subject living in the IT era, where we can tackle about our chapter 7 networks, internet and internet protocols. So, I hope that you are all ready to listen and brace yourself as we learn new things in when it comes to the information and technology. So, let's start. So in this lesson, networks and internet protocols. Ano nga ba yung mga matatakel natin dito? So it has a basic understanding of networking. No, it is very important for us, no, to manage a server. No, not only it is essential for getting our services online and running smoothly, it also gives the insight to diagnose problems. So this presentation will provide a basic overview of some common networking concepts, including internet and internet protocols. Ano nga ba ang network? So, the term network is defined as a set of computers of different types, terminals, telephones, and other communication equipment. Okay, so ang network po, siya po yung nagsisilbing instrument for us to be able to deliver our information, the details, and yung mga files, yung mga resources na pwede nating i-share sa mga ibang users pa, no? It also allowed network components to work together, no? The network components may be located within a small area or spread over many remote locations. In any case, data communication holds the network together. So makikita natin ngayon nowadays because of this technology arises, ang dami-daming mga social media platforms na pwede nating gamitan, specifically in using networking, 'di ba? To deliver our message to one another, the information, details, datas, specifically kung meron tayong mga kaibigan na nasa malalayong lugar, just like here right now, yung online classes, no? Nagsisilbi ang network to deliver your insight or your idea in towards the other user or viewer or friends. So it is very important for us to know what is network and what is the use of network together with the internet and the internet protocols. So let's move on to the next slides. Okay, so we have here the definition. So as you see, the picture depict, no? Sabi dito, computers are connected by many different technologies, no? Totoo naman that computers are interconnected in some or in many technologies. No, a network is two or more computer that can interconnect in a peer-to-peer or client-server fashion, most often over a shared and virtual connection. May mga computers po tayo or hindi po ang mga computers po natin talaga ay connected yung iba to deliver their informations together with the resources, no? So it is also a server fashion, lalong-lalo na sa mga virtual connection, no? In other words, networks provide the connection between computer resources in order to accommodate the flow of information, ika nga. So yeah, yung mga personal computers natin, kasama dyan ang ating mga smartphones and laptops, they have their own capability or they have their own parang way, no, na pagdi-deliver ng message. Kunwari sa laptop, may mga application na dina-download together with smartphones. Pero sa computers, meron din. Pero mostly talaga, itong mga computers na ito, magkaka-connect daw sila to deliver the resources and also information, no? Kaya nagkakaroon ng magandang accommodation ng flow of information. So, we have also here the following or potential needs for computer networks. So, meron tayo ditong information exchange. To exchange data and information between different individual users, it is necessary to interconnect the individual users' computers. Ang information exchange po, this is the flow of exchanging information to one computer to one another. Let's say for example, may kailangan kang ipasa. So, ang computer ang nagsisilbing this information exchange will serve as your guiding path to deliver the information or the data that you want to deliver, maybe to you want to spread. This is also necessary to interconnect. Totoo nga naman yun para mas mapadali yung flow of information natin. So next, we have here the resource sharing. No, it is the devices such as printers, storage, and software applications can be shared among users, reducing costs. Sabi dito sa ating presentation, ang resource sharing is the cost of computer has come down. However, the cost of a laser printer, bulk storage, and large enterprise software remains high. So we can, or when computers are interconnected, there is a possibility that users connected to the network may share the above mentioned resources. Okay, so let's now move on to the network architecture into the next slide. We have here the client server. So a client server describes the relationship between two computers, programs in which one program, the client makes a service request from one another or from another program. So the server which fulfills the request. So sabi dito, ang client or server daw po, ay ang nagsisilbi nating taga-request. Tayong nagre-request, siya din ang nagre-request sa ibang program. No? So although programs within a single computer can use the client-server idea, it is a more important idea in a network. So in a network, the client-server model provides convenient way to interconnect yung pong mga programs that are distributed efficiently across different locations. So computer transactions using the client-server model are very common. Yes, ano nga ba yung mga yon? Let's say for example, merong nag-pop up doon sa PC mo na kailangan mo ng i-update or maybe ikaw mismo yung nag-request na you need to update your PC. So, magsisilbing ang server na ito ay magre-request ng ibang program or programming to update or to upgrade your PC. So, the client-server model describes a relationship where one computer, so the client, or it will have a request service in other computer provides the requested service. So this model allows the multiple clients to connect to to central server, ensuring efficient resource management and communication. Let's say for example, ang common example of this client server or client server model is online banking. So we all know naman, we are all familiar with online banking, right? So when a user checks their bank account from a computer or a smartphone, the client device sends a request to a bank server which processes and returns the requested information. So yun po ang use or main use ng client server model. Also, marami pang use ito, but this example will guide you kung paano nga ba ang ginagawa ng client or server. So pwede siya for online banking, to request to send request to the bank's bank server, so which we can process more returns requested information. Well, a computer networks, particularly the client-server model, it's play a vital role in the modern digital communication by enabling data sharing, remote access, and efficient resource utilization. So this model is widely used in what we call this in various industries. So including banking, e-commerce, and cloud computing at marami pang iba. Okay, let us now move on to our next slide, ang peer-to-peer. Kung sa atin, ang peer-to-peer is friend-to-friend. Dito naman sa ating networks, internet and internet protocols, peer-to-peer or network is created when two or more places are connected and share resources without going through a separate server computer. Ang P2P or P2P network can be an ad hoc connection, a couple of computers connected via a universal serial bus. Ano bang universal serial bus? Ito po yung USB to transfer files. Okay? Intindihin po natin, ang universal serial bus po ay yung tinatawag nating USB to transfer files to one PC to another PC. Okay, one example of that is, So a peer-to-peer po is a type of network where two or more computers are directly connected and share resources without requiring a central server. Hindi kagaya ng kanina na yung tinatawag nating client or server, no? So it can be an ad hoc connection such as two computers are connected via USB for file sharing or larger distributed network use file sharing applications. Now, let us now move on to the advantages of networking. Ano nga ba yung mga advantages ng networking natin? First, as the computer networking provides several benefits that improve communication, data sharing, and resource utilization. Okay, so facility of technical support. Because of having computer networking, a person sitting in the United States of America provides technical support to a person sitting in a remote part of India. Next is the easy sharing of data. With the help of networking, it is very simple to share all formats of digital data from one computer system to another irrespective of their geographic location. Ang easy sharing of data po as a networking makes it easy to transfer digital data between computer systems regardless of the geographical location. Gaano man po kalayo ang places ng mga PC na ito, ng mga computer system na ito, nakakapag-share tayo ng information. Well, ngayon sa makabagong panahon, marami na tayo ngayong social media platforms, no? Or maybe an application to deliver more in easy way, no? Yung information natin. Kalakip yan ng mga just like for example, mga messenger natin. We also have here Telegram, ano pa ba? Many more, no? Ang dami-daming mga invention ngayon when it comes to sharing information or sharing of data. Next, we have here the easy sharing of hardware server, no? It is a very expensive hardware resources such as storage space, processors, and printers can be shared among multiple users through a network, reducing costs. Next, as we have here our easy sharing software. No, ang easy sharing software through the networking system, it is easy to share and install the software from one computer system to another computer system. Okay, so this is a software application can be shared and installed over a network, eliminating the need for manual installation on each device. Next, we have here easy to decentralize data processing, no? Through the networking system, it is very simple to decentralize the data processing system. It ultimately helps to control, secure, and manage the important data. Okay, so this network will allows us to decentralize data management, making it easier to control, secure, and process the important data. No, mas pinapadali po ito, no, easier to control, ika nga, no, para ma-secure natin yung mga information natin, mas importanteng i-process or mas mabilis i-process yung mga importanteng data, no, natin na kailangan nating pangalagaan pa because we believe that data should be in private. Tama ba? Yes, di ba? Ang Data Privacy Act, sabi nga sa Republic Act number 10173. Okay, let us now move on to the easy communication. No? An easy communication, no? Ito naman po yung networking that improves communication by ending efficient and cost-effective modes such as email, video chatting, and instant messaging. Maraming mga social media platforms na ganito like Telegram. Ano pa ba? Yung email natin, we have Gmail. Video chatting. Ano ba yung mga video chatting natin dyan? We have Skype. Meron tayong WhatsApp. Meron tayong Messenger. And many more. No? So, ang easy communication, mostly ginagamit natin nowadays ito. Okay, so a peer-to-peer networking and computer networks in general provides numerous advantages in terms of data sharing. So resource management and communication. As technology advances, networking will continue to play a crucial role in business, education, and personal communication. Nagagamit natin siya through business. Ano nga ba yon? To endorse your product. No? Sa education naman, itong ginagamit natin ngayon, no? Virtual study or virtual communication. No, it is also important for us as a future teacher na malaman natin yung importansya ng networking, especially itong mga nangyayari. Kasi pabago-bago na ang ating, di ba, nandiyan ang advancement of technology para naman hindi tayo behind. Excuse me. Para hindi tayo behind, no? As a teacher soon, dapat marunong tayong kalikutin itong ating mga technology para magturo, para mas mapadali yung pagtuturo natin. I'm not telling this para mas gamitin natin ang computer natin, ang technology, in terms of teaching at hindi ang traditional na pagtitik. Pero we are and belong to the 21st century teaching na kasi. So, mas mahalaga na mamulat tayo sa ganito, and we are also conscious and aware of what is really happening when it comes to modernization of things, no? And personal communication, no, sa mga pag may mahal ka sa buhay na nasa malalayo, friends mo, kung gusto mo silang kamustahin, so magagamit nyo ito para mas mapadali yung pag-deliver ng message or ng gusto mong sabihin doon sa taong gusto mong padalhan ng mensahe or ng information. And now we are done to the advantages. Let us now move on to the networking disadvantages. Okay, so while networking provides numerous advantages, it also has a certain drawbacks. No, ito po yung tinatawag nating defective. No, it is a defective. No, including high costs, security risks, and management complexities. Additionally, various network devices are required to facilitate communication and data transfer in a network. Okay, so these are the disadvantages of networking, no? It is purchasing the network cabling and file service can be expensive. Yes, binabayaran po ito. May mga bayad yung iba, no? It is managing a large network is complicated. It requires training. A network manager usually needs to be employed. So, kailangan muna to manage large network. It is very complicated. Bakit? Kasi it requires training eh. May training, no? And a network manager usually needs to be employed. Dapat employed ka po. Okay. If the file server breaks down, the files on the file server became inaccessible. You know what? When I was in my senior high school journey as a student leader, I also experienced this one na bigla na lang nawala yung file doon sa laptop ko and pasahan na noon ng accomplishment report. Malagang nag-rush na ako, at that time nagka-cram na ako, no? So, if the file breaks down, may mga possibility na yung server ay maging inaccessible. Hindi mo na ito magagamit pa. So, ginawa ko na lang noon, nag-create na lang ako, buti na lang may template ako na magseselbing guide ko para matapos yung activity na yon. And also, email might still work if it is a separate server, no? The computers can still be used but are isolated. Magagamit mo pa din ang computer mo, pero isolated lang siya. Viruses can spread to other computers throughout a computer network. Yes, may mga virus po tayo dyan. Tinatawag natin na itong mga virus na ito po yung magbibigay hindrances sa gawa natin ng kahit anong activity man sa ating mga laptop or PCs, no? So, there is a danger of hacking, particularly with wide area of networks, no? And security procedures are needed to prevent such abuse. Kalakip dito, dapat we know how to be able to manage our privacy. Kasi may mga hacking. No, usong-uso yan ngayon. I-hack nila yung account ninyo. Pagpeperahan, ganon, sisiraan ka. No, this is particularly with wide area networks. So, let's be all aware and conscious of what is the, yung tinatawag natin kanina, of what is the drawbacks of networking. Okay, so let us now move on to the next slide, which is the network devices. No, it's hardware devices that are used to connect computers, printers, fax machines, and other electronic devices to a network are called network devices. These devices transfer data in fast, secure, and correct way over SIM or different networks. So network devices may be an inter-network or intra-network. Some devices are installed on the device, like NIC card or the RJ45 connector, whereas some are part of the network, like router, switch, and etc. Let us now explore some of these devices in the greater detail. Okay, so in this network devices, don't forget the inter-network devices and the intra-network devices. Pag sinabi natin inter-network devices, connect different networks sa iba, no? Pag sinabi natin sa iba, sabi nga inter, iba. Pag intra, ako. Yun ang turo sa akin noon. So, pag inter-network devices, connect different networks. At kapag intra naman, intra-network devices, you operating with the same network or operate with the same network. So network devices are hardware components that facilitate data transfer between computers and others electronic devices in a network. So, yun, tinatawag nating inter-network devices and intra-network devices. And now, let's move on kapag sinabi nating modem, no? And a modem, sa mas simpleng salita, a modem short for modulator, demodulator. Pag sinabi nating modulator, demodulator, it is a device that enables computers to send and receive data, no, over telephone or cable lines. So, since computers use digitally, or since use digital data, and telephone lines transmit analog signals, a modem converts between the two formats to enable communication. So, while networking enhances communication and resource sharing, it comes with challenges such as cost management, complicity, we have the security risk, proper network devices, like modems, it will help to ensure smooth data transmission and connectivity. Okay, this next slide also provides more details about modems, including their types, and introduces RJ45 connectors and Ethernet or the Ethernet cards. So, here's how you can include this information into my video presentation. First, we have also network communication, relies on various devices including modems, RJ45 connectors, and Ethernet cards. So these components enable to seamless data transfer and connectivity in a network. Pag sinabi nating modems and their function, sa madaling salita, ito yung mga short for modulator, demodulator, no? It is a device that converts digital data from a computer. Pag sinabi nating device that converts digital data, it is from computer into an analog signal for transmission over telephone or cable lines and vice versa. Pag sinabi nating modulator, let's also simplify or emphasize the word modulator and demodulator or yung tinatawag nating modems. Pag sinabi natin modulator, ito po yung converts digital data into analog for transmission, no? Pag sinabi naman natin demodulator, ito po yung it converts incoming analog signals back into digital data. Marami tayong types of modems. Meron tayong based on data transmission direction. Modems are classified into. First, we have here our simplex modem, no? It transmit data in only one direction. Pag sinabi naman natin half duplex modem, this it can send and receive data but one only direction at a time. Pag sinabi naman natin half duplex or full duplex modem, ito naman yung can transmit and receive data simultaneously. So, patuloy, continuously yung pag-receive niya ng data or pag-transmit niya ng data. And now, let us now move on to the RJ45 connector. The RJ45 connector, the registered jack 45. Ang registered jack 45, no, it is an 8-pin connector used in Ethernet based on local networks or LANs. Nakikita niyo yan. Pag pumunta kayo sa inyong PC, tapos pumunta kayo sa network ninyo, sa Wi-Fi, mga ganon, makikita niyo yung LANs or what we call the local area networks. So, it physically connects network devices using twisted pair cables. So, each end of the cable has RJ45 connector pins which fit into a network sockets. Next is the Internet or the Ethernet card. Now, let's move on to the Ethernet card network o interface card ni NIC. An Ethernet card, also called, what do we call this one? A network interface card, no? Tandaan po ninyo, ang NIC po ay ang network interface card. So, it allows a computer to connect to an Ethernet LAN. Early Ethernet cards were external devices, but modem computers typically have built-in NICs. So, modems. Pag sinabi natin modems kasi, the RJ45 connectors and Ethernet cards are critical network components, no? So, modems enable communication over a long distance, samantalang ang RJ45 connectors naman provide physical connectivity. Ibig sabihin po, nakikita natin, nahahawakan natin, ganyan. And Ethernet cards facilitate network communication. Okay, let's now move on to the next page, to the next slide, no? To explain this slide in a discussion, so you can break it down into key points, no? And relate them to a real world. So, pag sinabi nating Ethernet card, NIC, no? A network interface card is hardware component that allows a computer to connect to a local area network. No, it has an RJ45 socket which is used to connect Ethernet cables. So older Ethernet cards supported 10 Mbps, but modern ones can reach 100 Mbps, even 1 Gbps. Example, example, when you plug an Ethernet cable into your computer, it connects via the NIC to provide internet access. Next, we have the router. A router is a network layer device that forwards data between different networks. Now, it connects multiple LANs and communicates with the internet service provider or the ISP. So it processes data in form of packets and assigns a destination address to ensure they reach the correct location. Ang example nito, no? Sa mga bahay natin, no, your home Wi-Fi router directs internet traffic between your devices and the ISP. Now let's now move on to the routing table. No, the router uses a router table to determine the best path for data packets. Meron tayong two types kasi dyan. Meron tayong tinatawag na static routing and dynamic routing. Pag sinabi natin static, from the word static, no, stagnant lang siya. It is a manually set paths good for small networks. No? Good lang po siya sa mga small na networking. It is a manually set paths. Pag naman tinawag natin dynamic, ito po yung ganyan, dynamic. No? Dynamic, pabago-bago. It is automatically updated paths, better for large networks. Ito man po yung pang mas malawak, or it is a large networking. It is suitable for large networking. Example dito, just like the Google Maps, kung alam niyo yung Google Maps na kung saan ginagamit natin to find the best route for a car. No, let's say for example, the routing table helps data find the fastest way to its destination. So, ginagamit natin itong Google Maps para mas mapabilis yung destination, yung pag-travel natin. Ninindihan po ba natin? Okay, let's go to the number 4, which is the switch. Ang switch is used in Ethernet networks to connect multiple devices using twisted pair cables. It works with packet switching technology to store and forward data packets. Unlike hubs, switches maintain a list of network addresses or interconnected devices, making them more efficient. Let's say for example, ang ano natin dyan is, in an office. Let's say for example, nasa office ka. A switch connects multiple computers, printers, and other devices to the network. So magkakaroon yon ng interconnected yung switch na yon, no? It's connect multiple computers, printers na magagamit natin para mas mapadali yung trabaho natin. So, how do our devices communicate over a network? Okay, so all in all, this chapter 7 this lesson, no, provides a comprehensive understanding of essential networking devices and their roles in data communication, no. It covers key components such as ano ba yung mga binanggit natin kanina, no? It covers key components such as routers, switches, modems, ano pa ba? To gateways, no? And network interface cards, explaining how they facilitate connectivity within and between networks. Additionally, it explores routing techniques, distinguishing between static and dynamic routing, and explains how switches efficiently manage networks, no, traffic through packet switching. By learning about these networking fundamentals, one gains insight into how data is transmitted, processed, and optimized for efficient communication. So this presentation emphasizes the importance of gateways in connecting the similar networks, ensuring seamless data transfer across different protocols. So it is understanding these concepts, different protocols, understanding these concepts is essential for network design. Ano pa ba? We have a troubleshooting and performance optimization, no, or optimization, making this knowledge valuable for anyone involved in networking, IT, or system administration. So again, I am Romnick Hidalgo from the Bachelor of Physical Education, and this is my video presentation in network, internet, and the internet protocol. So I hope you understand. So i-gatekeep nyo din itong knowledge na inyong nakup sa akin. And good day at isang mapagpalang araw sa ating lahat.
It's a technique which is used for dissemination of information, articles, and etc. Users normally subscribe to the RSS channel in order to receive news. Sa madaling salita, ang RSS or Really Simple Syndication ay isa siyang web feed format na kung saan inaalaw nito ang mga bawat users na makareceive or makapag-update ng mga news from the other channel. And ito rin ay ginagamit upang makapag-publish or makapag-post ng mga informations like articles, news headline, podcasts, and blog posts, and etc. It is a sort of online inventory normally on a specialized topics that consists of a series of entries. These entries are arranged in opposite chronological. Weblog is a commonly known as log file or weblog because it is a type of online journal and records of activities where an individual can post everything regularly. For example, kapag nag-stalk ka ng isang users or nag-browse ka ng isang users, makikita mo kaagad yung mga post nila from simula hanggang dulo. Unlike sa ibang mga social medias, for example, kailangan mo pang mag-scroll down para mahanap yung mga kauna-unahan nilang post. Dito sa weblog, mas madali mo siyang makikita. It is a digital file that normally contains audio or video record and it's available in the internet as well. Ang podcast ay mayroong video and audio na kung saan madalas itong napapakinggan sa Spotify na ngayon ay patok na patok sa mga teenagers dahil ito ay parang isang entertainment na kung saan pwede kang makasagap or makakuha ng mga lessons, advice kung ikaw man ay pinagdaraanan about sa mga love life, relationship, friendship, and life. And through broadcast, parang nakakagaan siya ng loob. It refers to the website that facilitate users with a common platform where they can share their messages in text, audio, or even video form, images, videos, and etc. A social networking website is an online platform that allows people to connect, interact, and share content with others. This platform have transformed communication, marketing, and social interaction, and also it makes easier for the people to stay connected globally. It is a dedicated area on the internet that facilitates users to communicate. A chat rooms is an online platform where multiple users can communicate in real time through text-based messages. This virtual space allow people to share interests, to engage in conversation, either public or private, without needing to be physically present the same location. It is a technical expression for the public telephone system. The public switch telephone network is a global system of interconnected telephone network use a voice communication. And para makapag-receive or makapag-call ka sa ibang bansa or sa ibang lugar, kinakailangan ito ng traditional landline network system. Kinakailangan ito ng fiber optic cable, satellites, and social network. It is a set of communication standards that transmit voice, video, data, and other network services simultaneously. Integrated Service Digital Network is a telecommunication technology that allows digital transmission of voice, video, data, and other network service over traditional telephone lines. It was developed to replace analog phone system with faster and more reliable digital connection. It is a sort of digital subscriber line technology that facilitates faster data transmission. Asymmetric digital subscriber line is a type of digital subscriber line telephone that provide high-speed access over traditional copper telephone line, and kaya ito natawag na asymmetric dahil ito ay may kakayahang makapagbigay ng malakas na internet and para mas makapabilis ang pag-upload and pagda-download ng mga iba't ibang photos. It is a process that saves data from the internet into a personal computer. Download is receiving data from the internet to your device. It is a process that transfers the saved data from a personal computer to internet server. Uploading is a sending data from your service to the internet. It is a technique in which a phone line is used in order to connect to the internet. Dial-up is an early form of internet access that allows users to the internet through a standard telephone line. It used modems to convert digital data with analog signals that can travel over the public switch telephone network. It is a wide bandwidth data transmission that transports multiple signals and traffic types of swiftly. Broadband refers to the high-speed internet connection that allows the transmission of large amount of simultaneously. Unlike sa dial-up, dito sa broadband, nakakapag-provide ito ng tuloy-tuloy na internet access at hindi mo na kinakailangan ng dial-up connection, and it supports a multiple types of data including voice, video, and multimedia, and by that, mas napapadali nito ang pakikipag-communicate natin sa iba't ibang tao. The internet is essentially a global network of computing resources. You can think of the internet as a physical collection of routers and circuits as a set of shared resources. The internet is the global network of interconnected computers and devices worldwide that communicate with each other. Some common definitions given in the past include a network of networks based on the TCP or IP communication protocol, a community of people who use and develop those networks, a community of people who use and develop those networks, a fast, easy, and inexpensive way to communicate with other internet users around the world. Email is also known as short electronic mail. Dahil ang email ito ay naging way para makapag-send and makapag-receive ng mga messages digitally over the internet. And through emails, naging mas madali sa mga users na makipag-communicate and makapagpalitan ng mga files, images, and other attachment. Allows a user to log into a remote computer as though it were a local system. Telnet is a network protocol that allows user to remotely access and manage another computer over a TCP and IP network such as the internet or local network. Allows a user to transfer virtually every kind of file that can be stored on a computer from one internet-connected computer to another. FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol. It's a network protocol used to transfer files between computers over a network like internet. In simple term, FTP is like a sending files through a mail services. A distributed bulletin board that offers a combination news and discussion service on thousands of topics. Usenet News is a decentralized system for an online discussion and file sharing established in 1980. It functioned through a network service of that distribute messages across various newspapers similar to network forums but predating World Wide Web. A technical definition of World Wide Web: all the resources and users on the Internet that are using the Hypertext Transfer Protocol. A broader definition comes from the organization that word inventor Tim Berners-Lee helped found, the World Wide Web Consortium W3C. The World Wide Web is the universe, a network accessible information and embodiment of human knowledge. World Wide Web is commonly known as Web. It's a vast network of interconnected document resources accessing, sharing, and linking information using hyperlink, which allows users to navigate seamlessly between different web pages. And ang nakaimbento ng WWI si Tim Berners-Lee 1989 habang siya ay nagtatrabaho sa CERN. HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. This is the protocol being used to transfer hypertext document that makes the World Wide Web possible. HTTP, which stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, it's the foundation of communication on the World Wide Web. It's a set of rules that define how web browser and web server exchange information. Like, para lang siyang isang language na kung saan ginagamit ito para makipag-usap sa isa't isa. Like for example, gamitin natin ng HTTP as a conversation between you and the waiter. Ikaw na client, nag-request ka ng food sa isang restaurant and yung waiter, tinanong ka kung anong food ang gusto mo and sinabi ng waiter na your food will be ready in 10 minutes. That's the HTTP. For instance, the website wikipedia.com is a collection of various pages written in HTML markup language. This is a location on the web where people can find information on different fields, people, places, and etc. Similarly, there are 3 million of websites available on the web. Website is a collection of interconnected web pages, usually focused on a specific topic and purposes. And it become essential part of our life, providing access to information, entertainment, and services. And also, they are constantly evolving with new technologies and trends emerging regularly. Every website sits on a computer known as a web server. This server is always connected to the internet. Every web service that is connected to the internet is given a unique address made up of a series of 4 numbers between 0 and 256 separated by periods. Web server is the backbone of the internet, making it possible for us to access and share information online. And they handle the behind the scenes of work of storing and delivering website content, ensuring that we can browse the web seamlessly. Web browser are software installed on your PC. To access the web, you need a web browser, such as Netscape Navigator, Microsoft Internet Explorer, or Mozilla Firefox. Web browser is like a window to the internet. It allows you to access and view websites, read web pages, watch video, and interact with online services. SMTP stands for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol Server. This server takes care of delivering email from one server to another server. In short, the SMTP server are the backbone of the email communication, ensuring that your message reach their intended recipients safely and efficiently. ISP stands for Internet Server Provider. They are the companies who provide you a service in terms of internet connection to connect to the internet. ISP is like a bridge between your home or businesses and thus the world of the internet. It's like a company that provides you with the connection and infrastructure to access the internet. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. This is the language in which we write web page for any website. Even the page you are reading right now is written in HTML. The HTML, which stands for Hypertext Markup Language, it is the foundation of web page. It's a markup languages that define the structure and content of web pages. A hyperlink or simply a link is a selectable element in an electronic document that serves as an access point to another electronic resources. A hyperlink is also known as link. It's a clickable element in a digital document that takes you to another locations. This location could be another pages on the same website, a different website entirely, or even a specific section with the same pages. DNS stands for Domain Name System. When someone types in your domain name www.example.com, your browser will ask the domain name system to find the IP that hosted your site. DNS is also known as the Internet Address Book. For example, when you type google.com into your browser, your computer sends a DNS request to a DNS server. The DNS server finds the IP address for your google.com and send it back to your computer. W3C stands for World Wide Web Consortium, which is an internal consortium of companies involved with the internet and web. The W3C or World Wide Web Consortium is the main international standard organization for the World Wide Web. It sets standards and guidelines to ensure a consistent and accessible internet for everyone. It was founded in 1994 by Tim Berners-Lee.
Good day to everyone. This is Gio Barras and I am responsible to report my slides. So let's start with web browser. So it says on the definition that it is a software installed in your PC which helps you browse the web. So basically it is a system that are established or installed in our very own personal computers, in which helps us to visit any different or to reach any different or various websites. So now the question here is how web works. So based on these examples, whenever we enter something like, or whenever we reach or we search on google.com, this request goes to one many special computers on the internet, and it is known as the DNS or the domain name servers. So these requests are routed through various routers and switches. The domain name servers keep tables, so remember the word keep tables of machine names and their IP addresses. So that is a work of the DNS. So whenever we type or you type google.com, it gets translated into a number which identifies the computer that serves the Google website to us or to you. Next is the internet connection. So it is provided. So I guess that we are aware about this internet connection. So hindi na tayo mahirapan dito. So it says that provided by an internet service provider or ISP, say, and connects you to the internet to reach any website. So commonly, this internet connection help us to gather or to reach any different or various websites or platforms with the use or through the internet connections. Next is web server. So this is the server on which the website is hosted. So pag sinabi natin hosted, it controls the web. So yun nga, it is based on the uh, name itself, the server, okay, web server. So next is routers and switches. They are a fusion mixture or combination of a system and hardware, or what we call the system is software, I should say. So who take your request and pass to appropriate web server, and basically these routers and switches build a larger uh, build even a larger network. So next is this 3Ws, or the World Wide Web. This is Tim Berners-Lee, who helped found uh, this worldwide consortium, or the W3C. And let's briefly discuss this evolution of World Wide Web. It was created by Tim Berners-Lee in 1988 in Geneva. So World Wide Web came into existence as a proposal by him to allow researchers to work together effectively and efficiently. So sinasabi nito na this World Wide Web, ang purpose nito is for us researchers to be collaborative. So that's why meron tayong word doon, effectively and efficiently. Uh, Eventually, it became World Wide Web. In this definition, we have the Web 1.0 to 3.0. So let's start with 1.0. We have static web pages. Next is brochureware, mostly publishing and no communities. Web 2.0, under this we have social media, keyword search, rich user experience, and tagging. And lastly, we have 3.0. So we have highly mobile, open ID semantic search, and microblogging. So input po ako ng WW architecture, and it is divided into several layers as shown in this following diagram. So this is the diagram. Next is we have the identifiers and characters set, uniform resource identifiers, or URI. So it is used to uniquely identify resources on the web, and Unicode makes it possible to build pages that can be read and write human languages. So that is URI. So next slide, we have extensible markup language, or XML. So it is a markup language and a file format for storing, transmitting, and reconstructing the data. So it also identifies a set of rules for encoding documents in a format that is both human readable and machine readable. Next is we have resource description framework. So it is a kind of method to describe and exchange graph data. So it was originally designed as a data model for metadata by the World Wide Web, or the 3Ws consortium, the W3C we called. So it is also provided by a variety of syntax, notations, and formats, of which the most widely used is Turtle. Next is we have RDF schema. So it is a set of classes with a certain properties using the RDF extensible knowledge representation data model, providing basic elements for the description of ontologies. It uses various or different forms of RDF vocabularies intended to structure RDF resources. Next slide, we have the ontologies. So this ontologies establishes the basis knowledge of about a specific domain. So we have under this we have the web ontology language, or the OWL. So under this we have OWL Lite for taxonomies and simple constraints, OWLBL for full description logic support, OWL for more syntactic freedom of RDF. Next is cryptography. So ito po ay isang digital signature for verification or validation of the origin of sources is used. Next slide, we have the 3Ws, or the World Wide Web operations. So ito po yung example niya. Next is we have the future. So these are the improvement or the development specifically in the field of web, and it was fast and diversified on the past decades. So dito papasok ang mga different developments from web 1.0 to 3.0. So next is the uh, user interface. So UI is a part of system or application that connects with users. It is an area or a field where users can interact with systems. So yun po siya. So next is we have the technology. So basically, it says on the definition, it work on privacy security is underway. Next is architecture. So there has been huge growth in field of web which may lead to overload the internet and degrade its performance. Hence more better protocol are required to be developed. So next is we have this called internet etiquettes. So etiquettes is the polite behavior, and it says on the definition or the bullet, it also called netiquettes. Netiquettes are rules or technique which are accepted worldwide. Take note of that, accepted worldwide for effective communication through the internet. These are to be mandatory followed. Netiquette is the correct and acceptable way of communicating in the internet. So that is netiquette po. Next is we have this short messages. Messages you send through internet should be short and to be points. So it should be your message was short, but the content or the quality of this message is in his point, or and it has his point. So next is the spell check. So we have to assure or we have to make sure that every grammar, every spelling in our message is definitely correct. Okay. Next is mixed case. So instead of using single case, either lower or upper, throughout the entire message, try to use mixed case. This increase readability. So that is increase it in this mixed case, it's more readability. Next po ay meron tayong tinatawag na subject. So it is always have a hint related to your content or subject. So kinakailangan po meron na kagad clue or indication na nakalagay na related sa ating topic or sa ating content, or which we call subject. Next is carbon copy. The mail addresses of the important people who are intended to read the content of email should only be added in carbon copy or the CC. Next is we have blind carbon copy. This avoids recipients or what we call the person who receives something from knowing others' emails addresses. So, pinapakita dito yung privacy po na tinatawag. Next is name at the bottom. Include your name at the bottom in order for the audience, for your audience or your readers or receivers to identify where that message belongs or came from. Next is attachments to be small. Keep that attachment small with respect to memory size as it clogs or blocks the recipient mail blocks. And do not forward unwanted messages. Do not forward unwanted messages as well as the messages that do not belong to you, because pwedeng magkaroon ng conflict or problem if we try to do forwarding not acceptable messages. And lastly, we have this called abbreviation. So we have to use abbreviation wisely. And before that, abbreviation is a shortened form of messages, and we have to use abbreviation wisely because if our message was long and that pointed out the what your message is conveying for, or that pointed out the content of your message, the abbreviation are not used properly. Is my report.
Send button. As you cannot change anything mail once it's sent, think twice before you hit the send button. Check whether you have conveyed everything in a formal language before hitting the send button. Email operations. Here we will discuss the operations that can be performed on email. But first of all, we will learn how to create an email account. In creating an email account, there are various email service providers available such as Gmail, Hotmail, Ymail, and Rediffmail. Here, we will learn how to create an account using Gmail. First step is open gmail.com and click create an account. Second, now a form will appear. Fill your details here and click next step. Third, this step allows you to add your picture. If you don't want to upload now, you can do it later and then click next step. Second, now a welcome window appears and click continue to Gmail. Here are some key points. Gmail manages the mail into three categories, namely primary, social, and promotions. Compose option is given at the right to compose an email message. Inbox, steered, sent mail, drop options are available in the left pane, which allows you to keep track of your emails. In composing and sending email. Before sending an email, we need to compose a message. When we are composing an email message, we specify the following things. First is sender's address is to field. Second, CC. CC is short for carbon copy. When sending an email, CC allows you to send a copy of your email to someone who is not the recipient listed on the to field if required. Third, BCC. BCC stands for blind carbon copy. Just like CC, BCC is a way of sending copies of an email to other people. The difference between two is that while you can see a list of recipients when CC is used, that's not the case with BCC. It's called blind carbon copy because the other recipients won't be able to see that someone else has been sent a copy of that email if required. Fourth, subject of email message. Fifth, the text, and the last is the signature. You should specify the correct email address, otherwise it will send an error back to the sender. Once you have specified all above the parameters, it's time to send the email. The mailer program provides a send button to send email. When you click send, it is sent to the mail server and the message mail sent successfully is shown at the above. The first is reading email. Every email program offers you an interface to access email messages, like in Gmail. Emails are stored under different tabs such as primary, social, and promotion. When you click one of the tab, it displays a list of emails under that tab. In order to read an email, you just have to click on that email. Once you click a particular email, it gets opened. And the opened email have some file attached with it. The attachments are shown at the bottom of the opened email with an option called download attachment. Second, replying email. Matapos basahin ang isang email, maaring kailangan mong replyan ito kung kinakailangan. Upang ma-replyan ang email, i-click ang reply na makikita sa ibabang bahagi ng email. Kapag na-click mo ang reply, automatic na makakopy ng system ang email address ng nagpadala sa to field. Sa ibaba nito may text box kung saan maaari mong i-type ang iyong message. Kapag natapos mo nang i-type ang message, i-click ang send. Forwarding email. Maaari mo ring i-forward ang natanggap mong message or email kasama ang sarili mong comment kung nais mo. Magagawa ito gamit ang forward button sa mail client software. Ang kaibahan ng reply at forward ay kapag nag-reply ka, ang message ay pinapadala lamang sa nagpadala ng email. Samantalang sa forward, maaari mo itong ipadala kahit kanino. Kapag nakatanggap ka ng isang forwarded na email, ang message ay magkakaroon ng isang character sa harap ng bawat linya. Ang subject field ay may prefix na FW. Fifth, deleting email. Kung ayaw mong itago ang isang email sa iyong inbox, maaari mo itong burahin o i-delete sa pamamagitan ng pagpili sa email mula sa listahan. Sa pamamagitan ng pag-click sa delete o pagpindot sa naaangkop na command. Ang ilang mail client ay nag-iimbak ng mga naburang email sa isang folder na tinatawag na deleted items o trash, kung saan maaari mong mabawi ang isang naburang email kung kinakailangan. Email etiquette. Ang term na etiquette ay tumutukoy sa kinaugalian o pamantayang alituntunin ng pakikipagkomunikasyon gamit ang email. Hindi natin nalalaman ang wika ng katawan at tono ng boses at iba pa. Dahil dito, ang isang hanay ng mga alituntunin para sa katanggap-tanggap na pag-uugali sa email ang nabuo, na tinatawag na email netiquette. Here are set of guidelines that should be followed while working with email. First, try to make your message as short as possible. It will make your message easy to read and understood. Second, be careful about spelling and grammar while typing a message. Third, use emoticons, smiles when required. Fourth, email address entered must be correct. Fifth, the subject heading of a message should be clear and descriptive. Sixth, follow the same rules as if you are writing a letter or a memo. 7. Sending a message that has already been forwarded or replied many times may contain many angled brackets. It is better to remove the angled brackets from the message. 8. While sending mails to multiple persons, specify their email addresses in the BCC field so that the spammers cannot come to know about addresses of other recipients. 10. To whom you have sent a copy. Keep size of attachment as possible. 12. Always add your signature at the end of email. And last, before you send, making sure everything is fine because you cannot call back a sent email.
Hi everyone, my name is Jessica Datuin and my report is about what is downloading and uploading. While exploring the internet, you've probably encountered the terms downloading and uploading. Downloading means receiving data or a file from the internet on your computer, and uploading means sending data or file from your computer to somewhere on the internet. These terms describe activities you may have already learned how to do. If you ever open an example documents in one of our tutorials, you've downloaded that file. And if you ever shared a photo you took on Facebook or another social media site, you've uploaded that photo. Para mas maintindihan natin, unahin muna natin ang downloading. Downloading is the process of retrieving or transferring files from the internet or another device to your computer, smartphone, or other device. For example, when you download an app, song, or document, you access these files from a server or website and save them to your device for offline use. Ang downloading ay proseso ng pagkuha o paglipat ng mga file mula sa internet o ibang device papunta sa iyong computer, smartphone o iba pang aparato. Halimbawa, kapag nagda-download ka ng isang app, kanta o dokumento na ina-access mo ang mga file na ito mula sa isang server o website at isinisave mo ito sa iyong device upang magamit mo ng offline. Isa na rin ang example ang modules. In Tagalog, ang downloading ay ang proseso ng pagkuha o paglipat ng mga file mula sa isang internet o ibang device papunta sa iyong computer, smartphone o iba pang aparato. Halimbawa, kapag nagda-download ka ng isang app, kanta o dokumento na ina-access mo ang mga file na ito mula sa isang server o website at isinisave sa iyong device upang magamit ng offline, tulad ng modules, pictures, and files. Usually, when you download a file, you will start the download by clicking a link to that file. A hyperlink looks like this. Download our practice document. And if you click the link, your browser should prompt you to select one of two methods for downloading the file. The first method, Open With. Open With will download the file and load it immediately in the specified program. And the second method, Save File. Save File will download it and save it to your hard drive. And once you click OK, the download begins. Your browser will indicate the progress and time remaining on the download. Once the download is complete, either the file will be saved to your computer or it will open in the program you select. Kadalasan, ang mga ibang browsers ay hindi laging sa ganitong paraan nag-start ang pagda-download. Sa ganitong cases, you can right-click the link, then click Save Link As, then select a location to download the file. At ngayon, ang aking babahagi naman ay ang about sa uploading. Uploading is the process of sending or transferring files from your device to another system or server, such as website or cloud storage. Sa Tagalog, ang uploading ay ang proseso ng pagpapadala o paglilipat ng mga file mula sa iyong device papunta sa ibang systems o server, tulad ng website o cloud storage. Halimbawa, kapag nag-upload ka ng larawan sa social media o nag-save ng dokumento sa Google Drive, ang mga file na iyon ay ini-upload mula sa iyong computer o telepono papunta sa online platform. Many sites have an upload button that opens a dialog box. For example, Facebook has camera icon that begins the upload process. A dialog box will appear, prompting you to select a file. Browse to the location where your file is stored, select it, then click the Open button. Afterward, a progress bar tracking the upload process will appear on the page. Ang ibang sites ay sinusuportahan ang drag and drop interface. Example, when logged in into Dropbox, you can drag the files from a folder on your computer and drop them into the browser window. And for another example, here's a common steps for uploading. Step number 1, choose the file. I-open mo ang folder at hanapin ang file na gusto mong i-upload. Example, dokumento, picture, or video. Step number 2, select the platform. Go to the platform kung saan go to the platform. Step number 2, select the platform. Pumunta ka sa platform na kung saan gusto mong i-download ang file. Example, email, Google Drive, or Facebook. At marami pa. Step number 3, find the upload button. Siyempre, kailangan mong hanapin ang upload button bago ka makapag-upload ng file or kahit ano pa yan. Usually, there is a button labeled Upload, Add File, or Choose File. Step number 4, select the file. Pagkatapos mong i-click ang Upload button, a window will appear allowing you to choose a file from your computer. Select the file and click Open. Step number 5, wait for the upload. Once na na-click mo ang selected na file na i-upload mo, ang proseso na to ay magsisimula na. At kailangan mo lang antayin na ito ay matapos. Step number 6, confirm or submit. Pagkatapos ang pag-upload mo, pwede mo nang i-confirm ang pag-upload or proceed with the other step such as submitting or saving. And I just want to share some safety tips for uploading files. Number 1, scan for viruses. Check po natin yung mga files na ating i-upload with antivirus software. Number 2, verify file extensions. Iwasan ang mga suspicious or double extensions. Number 3, use secure connections. Ensure website uses HTTPS. Avoid public Wi-Fi. Number 4, manage storage. I-ensure natin na enough yung space ng ating storage and i-delete yung mga hindi naman natin kailangan na files. Number 5, protect sensitive data. Encrypt or password protecting important files. Lagyan po natin yung mga password, yung mga files na sobrang importante para hindi ito mawala or hindi ito mawala. And number 6, check file integrity. Verify files after uploading. Number 7, log out from shared devices. Clear history and cake if needed. Para maiwasan na lang natin na ma-hack ang ating mga account or malagin ng ibang tao or ng ibang devices na napaglaginan natin at para na rin sa safety.